Hey everybody, it's Amanda. It's Christmas in July and today we are making a rag wreath. That's right, we are making a rag wreath, and this is my next little craft project that I'm going to share with you for the Christmas in July collab that was started by my friend Jeni Gough, and she has a bunch of folks you know, like Linda's Pantry and Sutton's Days, maybe some other folks you don't know, but I'm gonna have all their channels linked down below in the description box. And every day, Monday through Friday through the month of July, we are doing holiday crafts. So, well, not just crafts, some people are doing food. There's actually just a lot of different holiday type activities, and the whole goal is to prepare you for the holidays in advance. You know, this way, things are done in advance, and when the season comes around, a lot less stress and probably a lot less money. So I decided to do some crafty things just for me. I think this is a really great time to do it. I might have some downtime, and I have so much time, like months in advance, that even if I just have a few minutes here and there, it adds up over the period of a month. So this craft is one that I love because number one, I think it's super cute. It makes a big impact, but also number two, it is so inexpensive, y'all. I know you love cheap things here. So I just want to say that you are going to especially love seeing how we make this, because this frame that you need comes from the Dollar Tree. That's right, it was $1. So $2 right here, and that is the supplies, the basic supplies that you need. So the other supplies that you need are fabric, right? Here's one fabric we're gonna use here in just a second. And honestly, that's really it. You can have just the frame and just the fabric and make the wreath, and you are totally done. And let me just say too, I'm gonna tell you, there's so many cheap ways to get the fabric. So like this fabric that I have that we're gonna use was actually, I bought it from Walmart and it was clearanced. So we're gonna use that. But I have made things many, many times with items that were like leftover clothing or even old sheets. If you found a really inexpensive blanket, you know, sometimes they have those fleece blankets that you can get for like $1 or $2. They'd be great for your wreath project. And you can just get your little fabric. You need about 2 yards though for a wreath this size, okay? Now you'll notice that this wreath has 3 metal rings. If it has more than 4 rings, sometimes there's more. In fact, I usually have the ones that have 4, but this time Dollar Tree just had the 3. But if it has more than 4, you might need like another ½ a yard. But for 3 to 4 rings, you need 2 yards of fabric, and you can even mix and match the colors. You don't have to have one particular fabric. There's a lot of great examples if you look on Pinterest of mix and match colors that look really great. We'll talk about that more in a second. But anyway, and then if you want to embellish like this one, I put the flowers on it. So this has some fake flowers. You can use those if you have those on hand. Another great place to get these inexpensively, especially this time of year, is thrift stores. There's a lot of great Christmas things that are probably on sale, and you probably won't have trouble finding them. So you can just take old like Christmas flower arrangements and just break them up, cut them up, and then you can hold on to it for your wreath making. There's a lot of other great things that you could put on your wreath. So I actually broke out some of my decor. I have some little snowflakes that were crocheted, and you can hang these from it, hang them at like different heights, put one higher than the other, and I don't want to mess them up, but you could like just fill this with a bunch of like snowflakes. That would be really cute in the winter time. I have right here a banner that I used, and this is like a chalk banner that I used for a project at my church, and it's hung on some twine. So you could even, you can tell this was at my church because I have a Bible verse reference on it, but you could even hang this. You can hang it closer. This was on a big billboard, but you could put like hope or faith or love or something and hang it right in the middle if you hung it closely together. So you could even make your own banner. You can make that out of just paper and just hang it on some twine. But there are a lot of different things that you could do. I even saw some that just put a little stuffed animal and like just had it sitting there. They attached it on there. So there's a lot of different things that you could do to the wreath to embellish it. But honestly, if you take everything off of it, it still looks really, really good by itself. And like I said, really inexpensive but attractive holiday craft. So let's talk about how you make it. It's really, really simple. I love to show you things that are inexpensive and simple and you don't need like a lot of materials for it. So the first thing that you're gonna need, I said, was fabric. And let me tell you something, you're gonna use scissors. Don't even bother trying to do a rotary cutter and trying to do it perfectly, because this is called a rag wreath for a reason. We're actually only going to use the scissors to to cut at the top. And you're gonna estimate it about 1 inch. You notice I didn't even take a measuring tape out and measure it, because the point of this particular wreath is that it doesn't have to be perfect. So once you get that first little snip in there, you can see right here, see my little mousse on my fabric, but see that little snip right there? I'm just gonna take it and pull it, and we're gonna pull it all the way down the length of the fabric. And the great thing is it's gonna tear evenly. So you don't have to worry about it. This is gonna be with any cotton fabric. This other wreath that I did was made with a cotton flannel. So no matter what fabric that you do, if it's just a cotton fabric, it's going to tear straight down the line. Let me show you again. No perfection needed on this one, okay? We're gonna go about 1 inch over. I estimated it. And we're just gonna tear it and pull it down. Super simple. Now I don't know if you saw this on this edge. We do have the salvage edge. We're gonna cut that off because we don't want that on our project. That's not pretty. So let me throw that away. And now that we have our strips made, so basically I would just personally, when I do this, gotta cut that other edge off. When I do this, I will actually take my scissors and go across the top and just cut my little 1 inch cuts all at one time. And then I'll go through and do all of my tears all at one time. So I have it all done and it's very, very fast, okay? So then what you're left with is a bunch of strips. Now what you wanna do is you want to take your strips. Now this is the only part that semi requires measurement. So I guess you do need a ruler if you really wanna be technical about it, but you don't have to. Because another option is you could eyeball it and figure out about what length you want, cut it, and then use that strip that you used first as a measure, as a guide, and then just put that on top of your next strip and cut it, and put that on top of your next strip and cut it. It's not going to be as crisp, but you know, if you want to be fairly uniform, then you want to measure it out. Now this one right here that I did, you'll notice that it's actually very tight to the wire, okay? I cut this at 8 inches and it's very tight, and it's actually kind of challenging if you do it at 8 inches because it is so tight, but I like the really bunched up look, and that's just my preference. This one that I started that we're gonna talk about, you can see it's fluffier, right? And that's because I cut it at 9 inches. Now, you might wanna play with it. Of course, the longer you cut it, the fluffier it's gonna be. And I do recommend that if you have one of these wires with only 3 wires on it instead of 4, you might wanna make it fluffier, otherwise it can look kind of thin on your door. But anyway, so you're gonna take and you're gonna measure it, and I said we're gonna do 9 inches for this one. And basically again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna eyeball it. I see around the 9 inches, and we're gonna cut it. And like I said, once you have it cut, then you can take this and put it on top of the next one. And you're gonna cut it about the same length. And that way we're keeping it uniform. And we'll keep doing that until this strip is done. You'll notice a lot of strings fall out, and that is the nature of this being a rag wreath. It is going to be ragged on the edges, but that's what makes it pretty when you have it on the wreath. So once you have all of your strips cut, and I always, like I said, I do them all at once. I do all the snips at once, I do all the tearing at once, I'll do all of the hand cuts because I usually do 2 or 3 at a time. And then once I have all of my strips done, then it is time to make our wreath. Let's get a little bit closer and you can see how this is done. Okay, so here are the wires, and you'll see that I have the strips here. And we're gonna take our strip, and we're going to go underneath the wires, and we're just going to go underneath 2 of them. You want to wrap it around 2, and basically all you're going to do is tie it in a knot. Y'all, I did not cut my fingers doing this. I made my husband coleslaw the other day, and I really tore up my hand trying to shred some cabbage, so just ignore my fingers. But anyway, so basically you're just going to tie this in the knot, and that's it. That's your first one. We're going to push that over. You do want to make sure that when you put it underneath, you try to keep the underneath part as wide as possible, because it's going to help cover up that backside. In fact, I'll show you in just a moment what that looks like. So the next one, you're actually going to go to the next 2 wires, okay? Not the first 2 that you did, the next set. Bring it underneath and then tie a knot. Pull it and tie it. You'll notice I'm not trying to make sure they're perfectly even or anything, and then you're just going to shove it over. Okay, so then we're going to do the next one, and we're going to go back to the top 2. And we're just going to tie it in a knot. Tight. And tight. And we're going to make sure this one piece from the first one, we're not going to go over top of it. We're just going to move it out of the way and push that one over. Okay. And then I'm going to take the next one and go on the bottom 2. And tie it in a knot. You'll notice I'm double knotting it. There's one tie, and then another one. And then we'll make sure there's nothing getting stuck underneath it. We'll push it up, and then we will push it over. And that's it. I mean, tell me that's not simple. This is something anyone can do very quickly. There's another one. Tie, tie, push it over. It's hard to keep it on camera because it's so light. It just moves very quickly. Tie it. Tie it. And shove it over. Okay, so we'll keep that there. This is the ones we just did. I'm gonna flip it over so you can see what the back looks like. And you can see that it's got this nice crisscross thing that actually looks really good. You can see over here on this other side that I've done more, how it crisscrosses in the back, and look how fluffy it is on top, right? All you gotta do is just keep going around the entire circle until it is done, and then you will have an entire wreath. Didn't I tell you this was super simple? It is so easy. It's tying knots. It's tying knots around a wire. That's it. So the hardest part is snipping and tearing, and it doesn't even take as long as you would think. I know something this large, it looks like it would take forever, but I'll tell you, I actually made this one last night. My husband turned on a superhero movie, and I just started snipping the edges and tearing, like I hadn't done a single thing at the beginning of the superhero movie. Pulled out the fabric, started snipping and tearing, got all the pieces cut, tied off the whole thing, had it all completely done, and started on this one before the superhero movie was over. Like I said, I like to do these crafts at night when my husband is like watching something on TV or something that I like to keep my hands busy, and so I can be amused and still be doing something that feels worthwhile. So the great thing about these is if you start doing them now, first of all, like I said, you find this wire at Dollar Tree, come holiday season, these are gonna be hard to come by. If you wanna do this now, for sure. The other thing is this craft works really well for all the different holidays. So obviously you could do it for fall, for Thanksgiving coming up. There's a lot of great fabrics you could use. People for 4th of July, they'll do them in red and white stripes and then have a whole blue section, and it's really, really cute. You can do it for spring. I mean, there's so many different things that you could do with this, and it's so easy. Again, kids could do it. And the other great thing is because it's a holiday item, you can even sell these. Like it only costs $1 for this metal frame. And if you're using recycled materials that you have in your house, you know what looks really good with this is jeans. Old denim that you cut up looks really good on one of these. So if you recycle your fabrics and you're only spending like $1 on this frame, you could sell these for like $20 a piece at Christmas time and make you some extra Christmas money. So this is a really easy craft. You can do it this time of year, set it aside, and it's perfect for your holiday season. You could even give them as a gift. And I think you will really enjoy doing it. It won't stress you out. It won't take up that much time. And it's so easy. Easy and cheap. And beautiful. It's perfect craft. So, all right, that is it. If you have any questions, let me know down in the description box. And don't forget to go see all the folks who are doing the Christmas in July collaboration. I do want to let you know too that Jeni is doing a holiday related giveaway. And if you leave comments down below on my video or any of the other people's videos, and then in the month when she draws a name from the comments, you might win a prize. So just something to be aware of as well. So anyway, that is it. You all have a great day. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.